Molesey hand is down and back up again. It's a little bit of cat and mouse, isn't it, at the start?
Yeah, it is. That's the hand of Peter Litwin just come down for Leander.
Off they go in this round of the Thames Challenge Cup. Leander, Molesey, the boys in pink versus the boys in black.
Gosh, just listen to that roar. That was an aggressive start. It was a loud start from both boats. And, you know, Molesey in particular, dead level off the start. That was a cracking way to get up and running. But I think Leander just striking a little bit higher than Molesey off the blocks. Molesey just a little bit of the steering coming into effect at the moment. But they're absolutely dialed in that Molesey boat.
You've got to be aggressive, don't you, in these opening stages? You've got to get your boat up and moving as fast as possible. There's a lot of weight there. It's almost a metric ton of people and boat and oars. But Leander, great start by them.
Yeah, cracking start. You know, it's a combination that's come together from a lot of the gap year students at Leander who are coming then after their club rowing, after their school rowing, to have a crack. And this programme, this Thames Cup programme at Leander has really been building in recent years. And they had a cracking row yesterday to beat Marlow Rowing Club. That's such a strong programme, Marlow, this year. But here they are out in front ahead of Molesey Boat Club and absolutely grabbed the initiative in the early stages of this race.
Huge shout there from Brian Richards in the 7th seat. He gave it a bit of a yelp, a bit of encouragement to tell his crew we're a length up, keep moving.
Yeah, he's had a huge amount of success here with Leander. You know, he's raced in the Folly for the past couple of years, winning it in 2023. So to have that ability, you know, to come through the Leander system as a junior and then be able to see that progression through the club rowing, through the intermediate rowing, and see that progression through to the international stage is fantastic. And I'll tell you what else is fantastic at the moment, this start from Leander. Just blasted out of the blocks and they're continuing to move away. And I think Molesey are in danger of just being dropped out the back by the barrier if they're not careful.
Yeah, and you'll know that. You'll suddenly start feeling those puddles. You can see the kind of wash coming down. A little bit wind on the course today, but you'll certainly know that crew have gone. What's their cox saying to them now through these opening stages? I
think at this stage, particularly for Molesey, they've got to hang in there, you know. They've got to trust themselves, trust their rhythm, and know that actually if they hang on in there, you'll feel the confidence just maybe starting to drop a little bit in the Leander boat. So they've got to be able to know that they'll be moving down the course, particularly by the time you get to Remenham. What roar Molesey will get from Remenham, one of those Remenham clubs. And I think also if they're still within contact, they've still got the opportunity to bounce themselves back in the second half of the race.
Really important point of the race now. You come through the barrier, you come through that first 600 metres of the race. This is what we kind of call the transition. So you've gone off the start, you've absolutely blasted off the start. The crews that win most rowing races are the good ones that can get onto a good mid-race pace. If you can move away in this section of the race and don't give Molesey any hope of coming back, it could be all over. And right now it's looking tidy for this Leander crew. A real mix of internationals in this crew, but they're based right here in Henley.
Yeah, absolutely dialed in. Leander, of course, semi-finalists in this event last year. They'll be looking to go one better, but it's a stacked field, this Thames Challenge Cup crew field, I should say. But of course, Leander right in the mix. They were 5th at Royal Regatta, you know, the last opportunity that we had to test the speeds of these 8s from across the country before Henley Royal Regatta. 5th there. And here we are, that speed on display at the moment, just stepping on and continuing to move away from Molesey.
Grimaces on faces there. It's painful when you're behind. Molesey have still got to keep giving it through this middle section of the race. Mark McGill not smiling anymore. He's willing his crew on. He's got a great swing through there. An aggressive open of the hips, didn't he? He's leading his crew really well there.
Yeah, a big grimace there from Ollie Brew in the 5 seat as well, the ex-Newcastle Uni man. He's on his 5th Henley campaign now. Part of Molesey Boat Club, made the trip back down. It's a cracking lineup, this Molesey crew. You know, Thomas Fortram, Josiah George, Sam Maloney, Harry Hetherington, Ollie Brew, we just mentioned, Tom Sidrowchich, Jamie Gamble and Mark McGill, the man we've mentioned in the stroke seat. A lot of success this season, you know, top 50 at the head of the river. But Leander very much setting the standard in this race at the moment.
Yeah, Leander looking a bit calmer, a bit more relaxed. I've said it all day, it's much easier to be winning and look back at who you're beating, but it's hurt. They put in some work there. This is not an easy start, and maybe through the middle section of this race, as they're coming down, we can just see them from our commentary box. They've got to keep their heads up, keep moving, and don't let Molesey have a sniff of you.
No, certainly not. And I think Similar to the race that we just saw, I think Leander are now getting to the point in the race where they're just bringing the rate of striking down ever so slightly and just relaxing, conserving a bit of energy, because much like the beginning of the race, it's hot. It's really hot, and I think to be able to race early in the morning, I think would be quite advantageous for them, just so they're not out in the heat in the middle of the day getting too dehydrated. So any conservation they can do in the final stages of this race will be so important for them as they look to progress into the semi-finals and then hopefully for them into the finals on Sunday.
Do you start thinking about the finals here at this point, or are you just thinking about this race and getting through it?
You've just got to think about getting through it. I think as soon as you start getting caught up in the process of what's coming up later on down the line, then you make yourself quite vulnerable out in the course, I think. I think writing off any opposition at Henley is foolish. But to be in this position, dominating the race in the way that Leander are, they'll be feeling confident about what's to come tomorrow.
And what is to come? We've got a very, very strong London crews. Going to see them this morning. We've got Thames still in the Thames Cup, the absolute juggernauts of this event. So they're suddenly probably start thinking about them a little bit, but you want to enjoy this. You've got people sitting down in the deck chairs already mid-morning here, Friday, Henley Royal Regatta. You can hear the claps of the crowd. So sitting 2 or 3 lengths up on this Molesey crew, who are still roaring to the finish line. But you can see the blade work probably coming a little bit off there at the moment, whilst the pink of Leander get to enjoy this.
Yeah, in the first round, you know, they came through Derby. They beat Molesey Boat Club yesterday, we've seen, and their coach Rod Morgan will be thrilled with his crew's performance as they come up to the line. A lot of home support, they'll be cheering on Leander. A lot of support as well from Molesey Boat Club, who themselves have had a great campaign, beating Star, beating Hereford, and have given a very good account themselves through this regatta.
Friday at Henley Royal Regatta, no small feat. Today, Leander crew managed to pass the finish line, do a little pause, drop their blades down, and they get to watch Molesey cross the finish line behind them. Great effort from Molesey, but we're going to be seeing more of Leander. That's a win in the Thames Challenge Cup for Leander Boat Club over Molesey Boat Club A.